Kristine Bridges, and I'm counsel at Thompson Coburn.
My name is Daphne Halderman. I am a partner in the law firm of McCausland, Barrett Bartalos in Kansas City.
I'm Carla Holste. I'm a partner at Carson Coil in Jefferson City.
I'm Jenifer Placzek with Placzek, Winget Placzek in Springfield.
About 10 years ago, Katie Wessling came to our firm and gave a little speech on what we could do to help. And primarily what we do is get protective orders in place for women and children in need. It was very intriguing, and I jumped on the bandwagon, and I've been doing it ever since. These women are scared. A lot of them don't have anyone to turn to. They might be completely alone. And it's just, you interview them and your heart goes out to them, and you want to help them, and you want to make sure that they find a safe place and that they have something that they can use if they need to. My very first case was a woman from the Middle East, and she actually said to me during our first interview, "My husband can hit me where we came from, but he can't hit me here." And she was seeking a protective order, and we got it, and it was my very first case, and it just felt really good to help her.
As a guardian ad litem, in most cases, I am appointed by the juvenile court to serve in a pro bono capacity. And in these cases, there are often allegations of child abuse and neglect by a parent or by another individual. So in my role, it's my obligation to investigate the case by speaking to the parents, speaking to any witnesses, interviewing perhaps teachers, medical providers, reviewing medical records, and in some cases speaking with the minor child if that's appropriate. Your goal is always to provide a safe, secure, and stable environment in guardian ad litem cases for the minor child. And so if you leave that case knowing that that child is safe and secure, I think that's your reward at the end of the day.
I became familiar with the Samaritan Center even before they had the legal care. So when they approached me about being a mentor for attorneys, there was no question but that I was going to do that. People have questions about the law, and sometimes it's complicated. Even in the family law area, you get into questions of which state's courts would have authority to hear a case, where a case should be brought. Families are more mobile today than they were many years ago, and so we have families that have one parent in one state and one parent in another state, and so those are always questions. There are questions about maintenance and how that interplays with perhaps some disability benefits that people are receiving, and so those are very complicated issues, and I have no hesitation about getting the question, even spending time doing a little research myself on what the answer and the best approach for the clients may be. Though these people may not be able to afford the highest paid attorney in the area, that doesn't mean that they aren't still entitled to the best representation that can be afforded to them. And typically it has to do a lot of times with children. And again, you're not going to hesitate when it comes to making sure that whatever the courts do is in the best interest of children. And if answering a few questions helps provide that for families, absolutely, no question, going to do that.
Worked primarily on two types of cases: domestic violence cases, obtaining orders of protections for clients, and then also consumer fraud cases. And most recently we tried a jury trial involving a buy here, pay here car lot, and were able to obtain a great result for the client. And I did it alongside with a legal services attorney and kind of helped with the mentorship and used my jury trial experience along with her consumer fraud experience. And it involved a used car lot dealer and also a financing company, and our clients were particularly vulnerable, and we felt like maybe they were taken advantage of because of that, and we ended up getting a result for them and having the jury award punitive damages on top of the compensatory damages, which was a really great feeling.
Do it. it's incredible. For one thing, it feels good. You're doing something really good, and these women really need help. It's also a good way for younger associates to get some court time in front of a judge. It's very beneficial for them as well, and you're doing something good at the same time.
I think the personal satisfaction that you receive from this type of work is great. As attorneys, we have a lot of advantages that other individuals don't have. And also, we've had individuals that have helped us along the way. And I think by doing that, by helping other people, you do gain a great amount of satisfaction.
Providing legal representation for someone who otherwise couldn't afford to hire an attorney gives you both an opportunity to practice your legal skills and at the same time provide such an overwhelming service to somebody who will be so grateful at the end of it, because you made their life better, you improved their living circumstances, you got them housing, you got them relief for some suffering. Whatever it is that you take on as a young attorney, all it can do is enhance your practice and make you a better lawyer and give back to the community at the same time.
I would say don't be afraid to get involved. I think for me, it took me longer than I wish it would have to get involved. There was part of me that the work that legal services does is not necessarily the work in terms of the practice areas that I do normally. And so it was finding a good match where I could use my skills from trial practice to help them with some of the projects that they had going on, being consumer fraud cases and domestic violence cases. And I would say to folks that everyone can help in some capacity, and so don't be afraid to offer whatever it is that you can offer, and that they will find a match that you can use your skills to mesh with what the needs are.